left off, what's the last one? We did number 19, is that what it was?
Yeah.
Okay, we're on number 20, question number 20. So there's 6 questions we have to get through. Okay. All right, so number 20, they give us a couple of functions. These are the ones that you guys really did not like. I get that. These were not the easiest ones. They give us f of x equals 8x minus 2x squared plus 3. And they give us g of x is 5x squared minus x. Okay, they want you to find f plus g of x. And they ask us for the domain, okay? So they just want us to add them together, okay? Add them together, let's put them in the right order, okay? So I'm going to look at my x squareds first. Watch your negatives. We have a negative 2x squared and a positive 5x squared. We add those together. 3x squareds. We put together 8x and negative 1x to positive 7x. And we're left with 3, okay? Now, the domain for this one should be pretty easy. I mean, what numbers am I allowed to plug in for x? What numbers can I square? Anything. You can square any number, even negative numbers. I mean, why you can't square negatives? You can't square root negatives without getting imaginary numbers, okay? You can times any number by itself. What numbers can I plug in for x then? Anything. The domain is all real numbers, okay? Don't bar r. Okay? 21. They give us f of x is 4x. And g of x is cube root of x. Okay? Find f over g of x. I want you to divide these. Okay? Divide them and simplify them. Okay? I would encourage you do this. Okay? Let's rewrite it. Let's do this. 4x over the cube root of x. Okay? Now, let's rewrite this though. The cube root of x, that's the same as 4x over x to the 1/3 power. Okay? We got to simplify that though. X is x to the first power. So we have 4 over, well, where are there more x's? Okay, well, there's x to the first on top. There's x to the 1/3 on the bottom. There's more x's on top. How many more? What's 1? Take away a third. What's a whole pizza? Take away a third of a pizza? 2/3. If I really wanted to, I could have over 1. Okay, but you don't need that. If you want to put over 1, I don't care. If that was the test question, which it's not, but it's very similar. So it's 4x to the 2/3 power. Now, what am I allowed to plug in for x? Okay, well, we look back here at the very beginning here. Okay, what can I plug in for x? Can I take the cube root of any number? Yes, you can. You take the cube root of any number. You can take the cube root of a negative. Okay, there's one number you're not allowed to take the cube root of on this particular problem. Why? Can you take the cube root of 0?
Yeah.
Sure. What is it?
0.
Why?
0 times
0 times 0 times 0 is 0. Well, what's wrong with plugging in 0? You get 0, but you get it on the bottom. So you can plug in whatever you want, except for 0. Okay? Oops. Domain is x cannot equal 0. Now, what if it was a square root? If it was a square root, can you take the square root of any number? No. You have to take the square root of you can't take the square root of a negative. In this case, your domain would be x is bigger than 0. You have to plug in a positive. And you can't even plug in 0 because, again, you get 0 on the bottom. So if it was a square root, you have to have x is bigger than 0. Okay? 22. Or that was it 22? That was, no, okay. Okay, you can't miss number 22, guys. Okay? Give the inverse to 4, 7, 8, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11. Okay? So the inverse, remember, you just switch them. You just switch them. The inverse of 4, 7, 7, 4. The inverse of 8, 3 is 3, 8. Inverse of 5, 7 is 7, 5. Inverse of 9, 11 is 11, 9. And then don't mess up. Don't say, okay, next problem. You're not done with this one. Is that inverse a function? Yes, ma'am.
No,
Why?
because the 7 is in 2 spots.
Yeah, 7's paired up with 4 and 5. So is it a function? No. And again, if you just put no, you're not going to get full credit. Why? Okay?
7 has 2.
7 has two y values. Or you could say one input has 2 outputs. I mean, I don't know how you say it. I like to say 7 has 2 y values. That's the easiest way to say it, I think. Okay? Okay, find the inverse and is the inverse a function, okay? So let's find the inverse and then is the inverse a function. So we have f of x equals 2x minus 7, okay? So, what's the first step? Remember, there's 3 steps on this. What's the first thing we do? Something's really easy. Yes, ma'am.
Don't you,
Change it to
well, you have to replace the y with the f of x.
Yep.
And then
And then what? So x equals 2y minus 7. That's step 2. Step 3 is the only one that takes a little bit of time. You gotta solve for the variable that's not solved for. Solve for y. So we add 7, and x plus 7 is just x plus 7. It's 2y. Divide by 2, divide by 2. We get x plus 7 over 2. Now they're asking, is the inverse a function? We're not going to answer that yet. Okay, we'll answer that. You might already know it. If you know, good for you. Okay, let's look at number 24. We'll answer all 4 of these, or all 3 of these at the end, whether the inverse is a function or not. So again, it says f of x is x minus 3 squared. And then plus something, or minus something, plus 4. Okay, so let's change f of x to y. And let's switch x and y. So x equals y minus 3 squared plus 4. And then solve for the variable that's not solved for. Solve for y. So we subtract 4, and x minus 4 is simply x minus 4. Y minus 3 squared. Then what?
Rewrite it.
I would square root it. You get rid of the, I mean, I wouldn't rewrite it. You rewrite it when you have radicals or when you have fractional exponents. We don't have a fractional exponent. Okay, we have a nice round number exponent too.
Yeah.
Let's square root. Square root here, square root here. So we have the square root of x minus 4. These cancel. Y minus 3. Then what? We'll eventually add 3, but not yet. I forgot something. I did it purposely. I wonder if you guys forgot it.
Plus minus.
Plus minus, okay? Because I square rooted, I have to put a plus minus. Don't forget the plus minus. Whenever you even root something, square root, 4th root, 6th root, whatever. If you forgot it, put a star next to it, okay? Just make sure that you don't forget that tomorrow, because that's going to drastically change your answer at the very end, okay? Then we add 3, plus 3, plus 3. Let's put that 3 in front. So 3 plus or minus radical x minus 4. Tell you what, I said we're going to do all 3 of them, then we'll